Good afternoon, everybody. Whoa, that was loud. How we all doing? Hope you're doing well. Having a great Sunday. I am just coming on to hopefully kick off and be more consistent in kicking off my Colorado crime series leading up to CrimeCon. Hold on one second. Oh, that's why that didn't. Hold up. There we go. I have pinned my link. So if anybody comes in and wants to join, please do. I appreciate. Today I wanted to bring a pretty popular case out of Colorado to you guys. Happened back in a while ago. 2006, I believe. Maybe 2007. The case of Paige Birgfeld, 2007. I was, just kind of going over stuff to, kind of refresh my, just do a refresher on the case, whatever. And I cannot believe it, but I did not remember that she was not found for 5 years. She had 2 kids with her, I believe, first husband, because they were married for a while. She got married right out of high school, I believe, to her boyfriend, and then they got divorced in 2000, and they were married for a while. But I'll get all into it when I read you guys the thing. But that was one of the details that I must not have realized or remembered. I didn't know if she was found right away. I guess I just kind of skipped over the whole, how she was found or whatever, but did not realize it was 5 years later. And it's a case out of Grand Junction, so it's in western Colorado. I've never been there, but is it Western State that's in Grand Junction? Is it Western Colorado University that's there? I'm pretty sure it's Western Colorado. No, Western Colorado's in Gunnison, so it would be Mesa. So Colorado Mesa University is in Grand Junction. So, but I believe it's now Colorado Mesa University. It used to be Mesa State. That's how I know, because I always keep cities. I kind of know cities by their colleges. But anyway, 2000 and let's just read about Paige first before I get into anything. And I'm just taking this off straight off the internet, so off of Wikipedia. So the murder of Paige Birgfeld occurred on June 28, 2007 in Grand Junction, Colorado. Birgfeld was a 34-year-old woman, was reported missing by her 8-year-old daughter. Now, this is one thing that I don't understand. I don't know how it came about or how her 8-year-old daughter came about reporting her. But anyway, it says she was reported by her daughter. Don't know how that happened. On July 1st, 2007, Birgfeld's red Ford Focus car was found on fire in the parking lot without any trace of Paige herself. The investigation into her disappearance took an unexpected turn when it was discovered that Birgfeld was living a double life as an escort in a secret business called Models Inc. under the alias Carrie. Her remains were discovered on March 6, 2012 in the Route 50 area Wells Gulch. In the Route 50 area of Wells Gulch in Delta County, approximately 30 miles southeast of Grand Junction. Among the remains was duct tape, leading authorities to conclude that Birgfeld had been kidnapped and murdered. Lester Ralph Jones was the prime suspect in Birgfeld's disappearance. Jones was Birgfeld's former client with a history of domestic violence. Now, I heard once that, so I think I don't know if he was a client once and then wanted to continue, and she didn't want anything to do with him. But I heard that at one point she didn't want anything to do with him. So anyways, in November 2014, 63-year-old Jones was charged with kidnapping, first-degree murder, felony murder, and second-degree murder involving the death of Paige Birgfeld. On December 27, 2016, Jones was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He's currently serving his sentence at the Fremont Correctional Facility. The disappearance and murder of Paige Birgfeld attracted national attention and became subject of extensive media coverage. But yeah, so from 2007 to 2012, her remains were found in 2012, and then he didn't even go to trial until 2016. So that is a long wait. So the family must have been absolutely beside themselves. Paige was born April 27th, 1973 in Atlanta, and she moved with her parents to Denver, where she attended high school. She married her high school boyfriend, Howard Ron Beegler, in 1995. She studied nursing for a period at the University of Florida, but then they divorced in 1997 because he did not want children and she did. Her parents, Suzanne and Frank, described her as a loving, devoted, and excellent mother. In 1997, she met Rob Dixon, a wealthy businessman whom she married a year later. They moved to a big house on Hill Avenue in Grand Junction. They had 3 children, Jess, Taft, and Cole. The two had a complicated and volatile relationship, and to the point where Birgfeld called 911 after a dispute in 2004. Birgfeld stated that her husband had threatened that she would come home and find their children all killed. Just gotta get give me a second. I want to turn my music off. Okay. Hope that's better. How's everybody doing? I hope all is well. Okay, back to it. So, a year later, Birgfeld accused Dixon of attacking her, leading to him being charged with third-degree assault. They divorced in 2006, and Dixon moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, he moved to Philadelphia. Birgfeld kept the house and custody of the 3 children. Hello, Laura. How are you? Oh, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. So she then worked different jobs after her second divorce, including her preschool dance business, and sold high-end kitchen supplies for a company called Pampered Chef. So she was a Pampered Chef consultant and taught preschool dance classes, and also was had her escort business, Models Inc., and went by Carrie. At the time of her disappearance, we are discussing Paige Birgfeld out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Starting off the Colorado crime series leading up to a crime con in Denver in September. This is a more common or a more popular case out of Grand Junction. She was killed in 2007 and not found until 2012. And then it took him until 2016 to go to trial, which is crazy. I forgot all about how long this family had to wait for justice. On June 28th, she left her home around 1 p.m. to meet Beegler for a picnic day. Oh yeah, because yeah, that was her first husband. So she was, I don't know. I don't know if they were going to get back together, but after her divorce with Dixon, she kind of started talking to the old boyfriend and husband again. So they went for the picnic. They were together until 7. They separated so she could go back to Grand Junction because I think they met like halfway somewhere. Yeah, they met halfway somewhere, and she was also telling her friend how excited she was to go see Rob again. Or Howard or whatever. Howard, hold on. Anyway, Yeah, Howard Ron Beagler. Okay. He went by Ron. So there's Ron and Rob. Ron's the first one, Rob's the second one. So she was getting back with Ron. And I don't know how it's, like I say, it says she was reported missing by her 8-year-old daughter, which I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if like the daughter called 911 or I do know that there was a voice message left on her phone and it said something like, "Mom, you're so mean. You told us you'd be home by dark and you're not even home yet." So this, I think the little boy, one of them, one of the kids, yeah, one of the little boys was very attached to her. Um, so anyway, June 28th, Birgfeld left her home around 1 to meet Beagler for the picnic. They were together until 7, and they talked on the way, like after they left, they talked on the phone as well. Later, Bergfeld's 8-year-old daughter went to the Mesa County Sheriff's Office to report her mother missing after she did not return home. After her disappearance, her brother Craig moved with his family from Seattle to Bergfeld's house to help take care of the kids. Mesa County Sheriff Stan Hilke was convinced that Bergfeld had not left on her own. On July 1st, around 10 p.m., 911 reported what was later identified as Bergfeld's red Ford Focus in flames in an empty parking lot 2 miles from her house. In Bergfeld's car on Highway 50, police found personal items, checks, and business cards from the Models Inc. company. She had the escort business, which she managed. There was also websites with her photo where she was known as a high-priced escort named Carrie. She was leading a secret double life as an escort. According to her parents, she likely did it to financially support her children and provide for their lifestyle. Beagler, Bergfeld's first husband, stated that she had previously worked as a freelance exotic dancer. So the suspect was Lester Ralph Jones, then 56, a motorhome mechanic who was married at the time. He initially denied knowing Bergfeld until officers showed him his call logs where he had contacted Bergfeld and her escort agency before her disappearance. He has a previous criminal record, including the 5-year prison sentence for first-degree assault and second-degree attempted kidnapping of his ex-wife. On March 6, 2012, hikers found skeletal remains in the Route 50 area of Wells Gulch in Delta County, approximately 30 miles southeast of Grand Junction. They were only able to identify remains as Paige Birgfeld from dental records. There was some duct tape around her skull and mandible that indicates she was kidnapped, and concluded that she had been kidnapped and killed. Due to the condition of the body, they were unable to determine the cause of death. But yeah, that is Paige Birgfeld for us. I really just think it's crazy. I think the husband, the second husband maybe, I don't know, they were divorced in 2006. Oh yeah, so she was divorced from her second husband, but I think they originally, I think if I remember correctly, they were kind of originally looking into him and to Ron and Rob. But um, Rob, the first husband, I know, like he provided his cell phone records or whatever, and uh like GPS status or something, and they were able to clear him pretty quickly. And I know that, like, I also heard that um I don't know what her friend's name is, but one of her friends was saying how um they had a pampered chef party, and she was Paige kind of alluded to the fact that she was kind of scared that, well, I think it was when she was um married to Ron. No, when she was married to Rob, the Dixon guy. She said she was kind of fearing, and the friend kind of brushed it off, and then they were at another event, and she was just excited to meet with Rob again the next day on the picnic. And she wishes that, I seen in a interview or something, that she said she wished she would have paid more attention to it, and but in the end, I mean, she got divorced, all was fine. um and Paige was just trying to do her thing and provide for her kids, and here comes Lester Jones. But anyways, does anyone have you guys ever heard of this case, or is this new to you? I highly recommend. So this is probably one of the first cases I ever heard about, which is why I'm thinking it's a pretty, popular case out of Colorado. I've heard about it a lot. A lot of channels cover it. I think I probably first heard about it on, I'm gonna say, True Crime Daily or True Crime News, and then I do know that 48 Hours also put out a a piece on it. So I highly recommend you guys go watch those. Yeah, and I want to say, like, I don't know, but I think I remember at one point, like, this Lester Jones guy was like circling the parking lot, like stalking her. Um, I mean, he may have been a client of her once, but I think he wanted to keep being a client, and then, but she just felt off about him or something, so she just didn't want anything to do with him. And he obviously ended up stalking her, and then obviously at one point got to her and did what he did. And I think that's horrible. And yeah, still to this day is like just mind boggling. Absolutely mind boggling. And Grand Junction, I don't think it's not a huge place. It's out in the, it's western Colorado. So, a lot of, I think it's pretty, I've never been there, but I think it's pretty mountainous and, whatnot. Like, I was talking today with somebody, and we were like, yeah, like, eastern Colorado is kind of, I mean, it's got like Denver and like, whatever, but then like the west side is like the mountainous side. Um, I've never been too far west in Colorado, I don't think. I've been like central, but not west. Um, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to kind of kick off the Colorado crime series with Paige. Like I say, one of the first cases I probably ever heard of, and I, you know, just kind of You wouldn't, Grand Junction, I wouldn't think that anything, I mean, things happen everywhere, obviously, but this was bad, and I think it kind of made quite the impression on the community, because I think Paige was, very, she was very nice, and I heard she was always like happy and, just a happy, nice person, and nobody should have anything against her, and why would this happen to Paige type of thing. Like, she was a good mom. She did the Pampered Chef, and she did the preschool dance classes and whatnot. So, she was probably I mean, maybe not well known, but well liked, um, in the community. You just always wonder why things happen to people like that, you know? Um, and these people just get a hold of the wrong people, get a hold of the wrong people, I guess, and just terrible. But yeah, I don't know if anybody here. Let me also post my Venmo and Cash App for you guys, just in case. Um, one moment. I have a couple of them, so there's my Cash Apps, or I also have Venmo. I have to think about this though. Hold on, y'all. I don't know if there's. Hold on, let me check something quick. That's funny. I use. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just, yep, it's just this. But anyways, so yeah, uh, I do have other news to share out of Denver. Not obviously good news. I wish it was good news. The missing, um, and I have a thing to cover this on whenever the 11th is. I think it might be, when is the 11th? Wednesday, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. Let me find out. When is the 11th? Yeah, Wednesday I have um a scheduled live for this, but not sure. But the missing transgender girl, hairstylist out of Denver, has been found deceased. Jack Scraton is no longer with us, unfortunately. And I just want to extend my thoughts and prayers to her mom, who who's been posting on the Facebook page, Find Jack Scraton. If you guys get a chance, please go over there, send her some love. We'll see if there's more details that come out about it before Wednesday. And I will share any details I get. Apparently she was found on the 9600th block of Colfax, in an alley. So, yeah, sad. And they said that the body was extremely decompensated. But in an alley by, I don't know if it was by some apartments or what, but yeah, she was found. I mean, at least she was found, but not the way we wish. Ever, ever, ever. And I don't know how it's been missed for 2 months. If the body was always there, how has the body been missed for 2 months if it was just kind of, I mean, in my head, I think of it like just on the side of the, like, up against something on one side of the alley. But maybe it's not a well-traveled alley. I don't know. Um, what else is going on, guys? We are doing another live at 4, so I'm gonna, when I get off of here at hopefully around 3 my time, we're gonna do another special today at 4 for Miss Kaylee Gonsalves's birthday, Kaylee Jade Day. We are going to talk about doing something we love, and obviously talk a little bit about Idaho. Craziness going on over there. But yeah, I wanted to bring Paige to the forefront today to kick off the Colorado crime. I am really excited about going to Denver, but at the same time, like, it costs money, so I'm hopefully just trying to save and raise money for that. And we do have the first line of speakers have been announced. Laura, I don't know if you're still with me or not, but the first round of speakers have been announced, and I have to say, I am so happy that I didn't think she wouldn't come, but Nancy Grace is going to be there. Annie Elise is going to be there. Crime Weekly is going to be there. So shout out to them guys. But I also found out that this Lori Daybell uh, situation that's going on right now. I know there was a call for Colby to come, and he is. It's her son, if y'all don't know. So Lori Daybell's son, Colby, is going to be there and tell his side of the story, and I'm super excited to see him. And the the lead investigator in her case, which I'm so excited as well. This has been that case is just so messed up. And also, Laura, I don't know if you're still with me. I'm not sure if you followed this case. I mean, we were, kind of young when it happened, but OJ's prosecutor is going to be there. And so when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh. So then you guys, I went to the OJ documents and I started, like, for the first time ever, like, like I followed the case as much as you can as a 10-year-old. And, I remember all these things about the whole thing. I remember the slow white Bronco chase. I remember how it interrupted the NBA finals. I remember, you know, him trying on the glove in the courtroom. I remember, um, some of the, you know, obviously some of the pictures that were shown, like, in the courtroom as evidence. And was it Rob Kardashian that was like, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. So, like, all that, I remember all that. But that was all the defense. Like, I don't remember a lot about the prosecution. I thought they had it in the bag, like I think everybody did. And so I just want to hear what she has to say, because I mean, she retired after she lost the case, which I would have too, because that would have been a huge blow to my ego, and, like, she had everything they had everything. It just didn't work out. I mean, it eventually did for something else, but and he did lose this, like, I think and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't realize that he lost, like, civil cases with the Goldmans. Um, but uh but anyways, so she's going to be there to get to tell her side of everything, and I'm just super excited to relive OJ. Like, that was just insane. And the only other thing is I remember about it is when the verdict came in, and I was 10 years old. I was in the lunchroom with my lunch buddy friends, and one of the teachers came up to the top of the stairs of the lunchroom and just yelled, "Not guilty!" And we all just, like, dropped our silverware and, like, had the biggest, like, look of shock on our faces. We were all just so shocked. And there was, like, about, like, 10 or 15 seconds of just absolute silence, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh my gosh, like what? Like why? Like how? Like, and all of us, like, 10 and 11-year-olds were just like talking about it, and it was crazy. But so yeah, I'm excited to actually like see somebody from that era and that case. Um, Also really, really wanting to hear um the lead investigator of Lori's case. I want to hear what he has to say, and also obviously Colby. Um, but yeah, that's that. That's coming to CrimeCon. So, um, and I really do hope that, like, they, I love talking to people about, because I remember last year when I went to Nashville, um, I just sat and talked with this girl for like hours, and about different cases and stuff, and like, or just different people about different cases, and it's really, really just a great experience. You get to know people, you have commonality, right off the bat, and you can just kind of compare notes and stuff, and it's just fun. Um, but yeah, I wanted to bring Paige to the forefront today. I just absolutely told, if I ever remembered, or if I ever knew it. I don't think I ever knew it. I knew it, but just didn't realize until yesterday. Like I say, when I was going over the notes and stuff, that, or actually, re refreshing it, that she wasn't found for 5 years, and then it took another 4 years to go to trial, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor family. I'm glad they're getting justice, though. It doesn't bring Paige back, but it does bring justice for Paige, and the guy's in jail for life, and that's that's a step in the right direction. So, um, but yeah, they need to be tied up for life. Uh, and plus, he had a past criminal history as well. So, yeah. Um, but anyways, I'm going to get off of here for now. But as I say, as a special for Kaylee Jade Day, we will be back at 4 my time to talk about Idaho, and obviously Kaylee. I know that her sister, I believe, graduated from high school, I believe yesterday, or was it yesterday? Or whenever she graduated. But she graduated, and happy for her. I can't, I was just thinking about how she must feel going pretty much all through high school, you know, with that on her mind. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna get off of here for now. Please read about Paige. Um, please, pray for her kids still today. I mean, even though it happened a long time ago, kids pay the price the most, and I just feel awful for them. I feel awful for, if her and Rob were getting back together, that's awful. You know, she had the kids with Ron, and I'm sure he didn't want anything bad of her like that. Like, at least, I mean, some husbands do, because some husbands are the ones that do it, but not in this case. So it's just really bad all the way around. Um, I feel bad for her family. I'm still praying for them, so let's keep them in our thoughts and just pray that they are doing what they need to do to be okay, at least as okay as they can. Um, but as I say, join me back here at 4, and I'm going to get off here for now. But I will talk to you guys later. Hope you have a great rest of the day if you don't catch me at 4. But I am going to leave you with that. And we will continue with our Colorado Crime Series, I think on the 11th with Jax, but we do have some other ones planned as well, obviously. And we'll just go forward from there. I do have the schedule out. And then I don't know if it's like the 12th and the 16th or something that we're going to do Natalie and Crystal. So, anyways, I will be back here at 4. Hope you guys have a great day. If you don't catch me again, if you do catch me at 4, I will see you then. But until then, have a great day. And most importantly, stay safe. And have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.